Ready? Alright, so we're 9.10b. I'll sprinkle in for your test purposes 5 bonus points while we do this. So if you want to jot them down for your neighbors, fine. If your neighbor grading your paper is too dumb or uncooperative to do that, I guess you'll piece them off the video or off of a friend who has a capable friend. But one is an interaction among chemicals that brings about change. Bonus point here is that chemical changes mean a change in composition and that a new substance is formed. So if you want to jot that note on to be helpful, chemical change means change in composition and a new substance is formed, then you are being a kind and competent friend. 2 to 5, we have gas getting produced, we have heat produced, would be a half. Heat could be also absorbed for the other half. Color change and the precipitate or precipitate, depending on your preferences. 6, it's a shorthand method. We're expressing chemical reactions using symbols and formulas. That feels like some maybe phrases could go missing and give people some haps on that, but shorthand method, expressing chemical reactions using symbols and formulas. 7, you have to know how the substances react and what new substances are formed, so that seems like 2 halves to a point of an answer there, and you have to balance it. 9, you could either say complete or you could say molecular, I don't care. Bonus point in your future if you tell me there's also a thing called ionic equations, which we will never write. We won't get to that chapter together. Go to college, take chem probably like twice, and maybe you get to that, because the chem we're doing should easily get you through a 1-semester chem course where you wouldn't have to learn anything new. 10, mass is not created or destroyed. 11 is our frenemy Lavoisier. On test day, I'll make you spell them right. Today, I won't care. It's Lavoisier. 12, there's reactants. Those are the substances that interact, and they're on the left in the equation. If they shorted the phrase in the equation, short them a half a point, because if you just say it's on the left, it sounds like it's my pen that's on my left, and that's not what we mean. Products are the substances that are formed. Those are on the right in the equation. If they already lost a point for not saying in the equation, don't hit them again. Just hit them once for half a point. Catalyst speeds up a reaction. That's half of it. The other half, it's recovered unchanged at the end. You could also say increases the rate of a reaction and gets recovered unchanged at the end. 19, arrow is an answer. That separates reactants from products, and I told you don't have to write those words. You could just write R and P to abbreviate in that answer. Then the plus separates the R's from the R's and separates the P's from the P's. 21, G stands for gas. If you're missing that one, I don't even know what to say. L for liquid, S for solid. AQ, I could maybe see you losing a half for not saying aqueous solution and doing both words, but those other 3, I mean, that's pretty giveaway-ish. 25 is heat, 26 is a catalyst. 27, I don't really care about the order, but you just need the ideas. So 1 of them is writing formulas for reactants and products. 2, you pick an element to balance. You don't have to say it, but in practice, it's usually the one that you have the most of. 3, you balance the polyatomics. 4, you balance H and O in some order. 5, make sure the coefficients are the simplest or smallest whole number ratio, and then you check. Question about scoring to 32. To the back. There's this question again. Combination is 2 or more substances becoming 1. Decomposition is 1 substance becoming 2 or more. You mentioned heat there for a point that's somewhat forgettable in the midst of a lot of other hustle and bustle. Just try to remember that. Single replacement is an element in a compound react, and the element replaces a different element that was in the compound. Double replacement is 2 compounds and the cations exchange, or you could explain that other ways. Neutralization is an acid or an acid oxide with a base or a basic oxide to produce water. 44 is oxygen, 45 is burning, 46 is metal oxides plus water. 47 is metals plus non-metals. 48 is non-metal oxides plus water. 49 is of an arrangement of metals by descending reactivity. 50 is a solid that appears in a solution during a reaction. 51 is H2O plus CO2. Bonus points here around this zone, 51 to 55, anywhere in this where you could fit space. Future bonus point is that CO2 turns into CO3 2 minus. Likewise, SO2 turns into SO3 2 minus. Likewise, SO3 turns into SO4 2 minus. When you have to write the equations yourself, that's just the thing you need to know. So one more run back on those bonuses. CO2 becomes CO3 with a 2 minus charge. SO2 is SO3, also with a 2 minus charge. SO3 becomes SO4 with a 2 minus charge. So we're creating some carbonates, sulfites, and sulfates there. 52, acid plus base is 1. Non-metal oxide plus metal oxide is 1. And you could write O instead of oxide, because when you write an O, that is how that reads. And then the other two you could say in one of two ways. You could either say non-metal oxide plus base, or you could say acid oxide plus base. Either way. And then the one I didn't say yet is a metal oxide plus an acid, or if you'd rather, a basic oxide plus an acid. Need something? Alright, so next time up, there's not a quiz, there's just a homework that's not nearly as many problems as you have been used to doing, but they're a little harder because you have to write your own equation. 18 goes to D. 18 is basically like the 13 to 17, but only goes to D. 19 is about the same as that, goes to D. 20 and up, you've got to write your own stuff. We skipped 22 because for some reason that's a mean one. And then it includes a chapter quiz. The chapter quiz, though, I don't think is too bad. The chapter quiz, I think, is fairly normal. 2 days away would be practice test, and then we'll talk about whether we're trying to review any more or whether we got this. That's it.